So, are you looking for new albums to spin on your turntable? If so, you came to the right channel because I'm going to share with you some brand new albums I just got in. In fact, most of these albums are still sealed. I haven't even had a chance to open them yet, and they're coming right from my door to you at home. So let's dive right into this, and we're going to start out with Beyonce's Cowboy Carter. Now, many folks feel like this is a country album without listening to it, and it's really not. It was conceived as a journey through the reinvention of Americana, spotlighting the overlooked contributions of black pioneers to Americana musical and cultural history. Now, Beyonce blended a variety of musical genres on this one, including country, pop, you got some hip hop on here, and even blues. And this was all in efforts to sort of reimagine Americana and its roots. Now, Cowboy Carter is the name of this album, despite what some of the title and the spine would actually attribute to. But this album features contributions from iconic musicians. You have Paul McCartney, you have Stevie Wonder, and also was supposed to be pretty interesting. I haven't listened to it yet, obviously, because it's still sealed, but it includes a unique storytelling element. So apparently, this album is presented in a way as like a radio broadcast, and it's coming from this like fictional station, and you have country legends on there like Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson acting as disc jockeys. So that sounds like a lot of fun. This particular one is 2 records, limited edition, and I'm not really sure why. It says limited edition up here, but there's no indication of how many. And when I put this bad boy in Discogs, there was like over 2,000 people that already have it. So I don't know how limited it really is. Now, keeping with hip hop, we got one of my favorite all-time hip hop artists, somebody who I think really left this world too young. I would have loved to seen what Notorious B.I.G. would have been able to accomplish in his career if he would have been still with us today. And this particular album is the Ready to Die instrumentals. Super excited about this. This is the instrumental versions from Biggie's classic debut, Ready to Die. It also includes some rare 12-inch singles, excuse me. And this was, you know, when Ready to Die came out, it was really the cornerstone of East Coast hip hop. I mean, it was the album. So, you know, having something like this where now you just have the instrumentals, to me is a little bit of a throwback to hip hop, kind of in its golden era, if you may say. But also the benefit of this album is that it highlights some production work of figures like DJ Premier and Easy Mo Bee, which is, you know, they were critical in shaping the sound of 90s hip hop. So really cool that there's so much history going on this particular album. This is the 2024 RSD, so it just came out, depending on when you're watching this video. It is a 45 RPM record. This was one of the records that I wanted to get on RSD day and I missed, so I was happy to grab it after. And speaking of RSD misses, I also grabbed the Lil Wayne Sorry for the Wait, and this is a mixtape that was released as an apology for, you know, to Lil Wayne's fans for the delay of his album The Carter 4. I'm really excited to give this one a spin. From what I understand, I haven't listened to it yet, but from what I understand, this features freestyles over popular beats from other artists' songs, so I'm kind of curious to give that a spin. Don't quote me on that because I haven't had a chance to look into it myself, but this is also another 2024 Record Store Day. It's issued, or it's a reissue on red transparent vinyl, so excited to give that one a spin. Now this next album I'm about to share with you, we're changing genres and we're not getting out of hip hop, we're getting into some rock albums here. And this is an album, this particular box set, it's actually a box set I passed up on so many times at my local record store, and I finally dug in and I grabbed it. And the reason I grabbed it is because it's just minty. Besides the hype sticker being a little bit seen better days, everything else is just pristine. The cover's pristine, the records are pristine. I feel like this came from a collector that would either was a fan or bought this album and just didn't give us this love, and that's Beck's Odelay. Look how cool this is with the custom art cover here. It looks like somebody drew all over it. Pretty cool cover, right? Now, if you're not familiar, Odelay was awarded Album of the Year by Rolling Stones and won, I believe it was 2 Grammys, including Best Alternative Music Album. The album features a mix of styles, including alternative rock, country, rap, Latin music, really just showcasing Beck's wide musical style and in his breadth of talents, right? This particular one is from 2008. It's remastered, reissued. It is a numbered limited edition. There's 3,000 of them worldwide. I'm pretty certain that's what it is. It's 3,000 of these. And it comes in this quad gatefold. So actually this opens up, and each of the albums you can just slide right out here. So you don't have to do any wonky sliding from the middle or anything. It makes it really easy to access. You have 4 records in here, 180 grams, comes with some liner notes and a short story. Really cool package. Actually, out of all the records I'm sharing with you today, I think that's the one that's gonna get spun first. I really can't wait to put that on my turntable. From what I was reading on Discogs, especially after I entered it into my collection, a lot of folks say that is the definitive copy. So we'll see. Another box set that I have for you, switching to a little bit of contemporary, and then we're going to get back into rock, is the London Grammar. Now this is Californian soil, and this was their 3rd album. This was their 3rd studio album, and this kind of starts exploring themes of feminism and really showcases the band's evolution. It kind of marked a stylistic shift for them, really starting to incorporate more electronic elements and stronger pop influences. But this is a really, really cool box set. This is from Europe. This is a Euro press. It's a 2021 release. It contains the LP on white transparent vinyl. It also has a 10-inch 45 pressed on blue transparent. It comes with a CD. It also comes with a download. Like, man, it is packed, right? You literally have everything that you could ever want in an album put into one package. To me, I think that's really, really cool. Gonna get in some classic rock. If you're into classic rock, you're gonna like the next one, and that's Rush's Moving Pictures. And this is, this album, let me tell you, this includes some of Rush's most famous songs. You have Tom Sawyer on here, you have Limelight. I mean, these are songs that when they come on a radio, you just crank them up, or at least I do. I love those songs. And I don't think I'm alone. This was their best-selling album, and I think it reached quadruple platinum status in the US. So really, really cool. This particular one is the RCA Club Edition from '81. And what I liked about this, what really made me grab this, and this is another one, by the way, where the cover's a little bit wonky, you have a little bit of a split seam, but the record's gorgeous. It looks like it's never been played. And one of the reasons why I wanted to grab this one, despite the cover seeing a little bit better days, is that it's mastered by Bob Ludwig, and I heard it sounds phenomenal. So I'm excited to get that one on the turntable too and see how it compares to some of the other copies I have. All right, getting into more classic hip hop. Going old school in this one, and this is another one where the album cover has seen better days, but the record itself is mint. It is a minty record. And this was another one that I picked up a few times. I think it was like 3 times total. I kept hemming and hawing. I'm like, you know what? I could probably always find one that has a better cover. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find this particular album with a record that looks like it was never played before. And that is Ice-T's Power. Now, this was his 2nd studio album, and it's really cool because this is kind of raised up here, so it's got some cool, texture feel to it, and it's a promo edition as well. And this was, he started to continue to find, I think, that gangster rap genre at the time. And what's really cool, a little fun fact, is that the lady here with the gun was his now ex-girlfriend. So I believe her name was Darlene Ortiz. I think that's what it was. So really, really cool. I mean, she's not in a picture anymore, so I guess it didn't work out. I hope he didn't get shot at, but who knows, right? I think this image, at least when I remember growing up, this was a pretty iconic image at the time. So, I don't think it's so iconic today. Maybe it is, but I remember this being a very iconic album cover years ago. This particular one is the 1998, no, sorry, 88 release. This is the Allied pressing of this album. So, okay, back to rock. A little bit all over the place. I told you, scatterbrain. I think this one's a classic. For rock fans, the next album I'm going to show you is a classic. You're going to love it. And that is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Hard Promises. And this is minty. Look how crisp this is. This album itself, without getting into the pressing yet, this album includes the hit "The Waiting." It's considered one of, I think, Petty's signature songs. And what's really interesting too is that Petty famously fought for his record label over the album's pricing, insisting it not to be sold for like more than a standard price at the time. So he was really fighting for people to be able to afford and get their hands on this record. So really kind of cool little backstory there about Tom Petty fighting the record label to make sure that you at home could buy this record. This is from 1981. Can you believe it? It looks like a brand new press. 1981. This is the Backstreet Records. This was cut at Sterling Sound. Really excited to give that a spin. Speaking of classic rock, we got the Geils band here. This was Freeze Frame. Y'all know the song. Y'all know the title track, Freeze Frame. It also included the song Centerfold. They both of those songs became major hits on the Billboard Top 100. Yeah, they're both here on there. So I'm trying to think if there's any other songs here. But no, I think they're the two that you're going to know. And yeah, they're both came. And this is probably, I think, their most successful album. This particular issue is from 81. It's the Winchester pressing. Kind of excited to find another 1980s rock album just in pristine condition. I have a feeling some of these came from the same collection, including this one. How about Love Stinks from the same band? And again, the title track being the most popular song, it's been featured on movies and television shows. You definitely heard it. This is from 1980. It's the 1980 release. This is the one with the pink EMI label. So kind of a cool one to grab. Again, and it's just another pristine one. Gonna go back to hip hop here for a moment, and that's gonna be Pete Rock and CL Smooth's. This is the Mecca and the Soul Brother, and this includes the hit They Reminisce Over You, Troy. It's Troy, and it's a tribute to their late friend, which was widely regarded as one of the greatest hip hop songs of all time. This album is celebrated for its complex lyricism and sophisticated soulful beats. This is the Europress music on vinyl, limited and numbered, and it's pressed on 180 gram vinyl. I think it's translucent yellow colored vinyl. There you go. Yep. So really cool to grab this one. I think I got that one from HHV, and they still have them in stock. So if it's an album you're looking for, you can probably grab it from HHV. Keep in with the same band again. We got their the main ingredient from Pete Rock and CL Smooth. This was their second album and continued that style from their debut album, which is really cool. It's often noted more for a mellow, kind of jazzy tone, and it's sort of influenced this smooth hip hop, right? Back in the day, it was really around like more, I don't know, I remember, hip hop fans may fight with me, but I remember more like street hip hop or gangster hip hop was more popular when these albums came out. And this kind of was like really smooth. It was like almost an album that anybody can listen to. This is also a Europress, music on vinyl, 180 gram, limited and numbered, yellow translucent vinyl, so it matches the set pretty well. All right, we're going to get back into some alternative rock, and we got some bangers. The next two are bangers that if you grew up in I guess the 90s, if you grew up in the 90s, you know both of these bands. You might not want to admit you know both of these bands. You might be a little bit shy to say you know who they are, but I know you know who they are. So don't kid me, don't kid yourself. And the first one we're going to show you is the Crash Test Dummies. God shuffled his feet. Now you might be thinking, I don't know Crash Test Dummies. Sure you do. It has that single hit, You know that once there was a boy who. That's on this album. That's the 12M song here, track A3. And it's instantly recognizable. This is a very, the voice and this whole band just stands out. I think it's a shame that really the only song on this album that got a lot of Main Street love was that song, because there's a lot of really good songs in this album. And if you do listen to this album in its totality, the lyrics kind of touch on these philosophical themes. It's really, you got Brad Roberts' deep baritone voice carrying it throughout. It's really a cool album. It's one to grab if you see it, and especially bring back that nostalgia from listening to that song. This is Europress, 180 gram, and it sounds great. That one I did spin. I also got, here's the other one that you're not going to want to admit that you know, but that's Right Said Fred's Up. And this has the #1 hit single in multiple countries, I believe, and that's I'm Too Sexy. Too sexy for this shirt, too sexy for this shirt. Come on, you know this song. Don't make me sing. I'm not a good singer. This includes that song. That's the one you know. I can't tell you if you're going to know any of the other ones. Probably not. This is Euro release 2023 limited edition pressed on translucent red vinyl. Getting ahead of myself, getting a little bit excited, as you can see. All right, I'm going to kind of dial it back now because we're going to get into something a little bit more jazzy, a little bit smoother. And by the way, if you really enjoy kind of discovering music with me, bringing back some of the reminiscent stuff, check out on my playlist, vinyl adventures or hunting adventures. I forget what it's called, but I got a bunch of these type of videos where we just dive into records together. Okay. Straight from the Jazz Dispensary Top Shelf Series, ladies and gentlemen, we have John Lytle. This is People and Love. It mixes jazz with elements of soul and funk and characteristics of, Johnny's style here is just going to blow you away. If you're not familiar with this album, it's definitely worth giving it a stream. I think you're going to melt over it. I'm actually really excited to give this a spin. I haven't actually opened this record yet, so I don't know how it sounds, but come on, folks. It's Jazz Dispensary. It's top shelf. It's a 2024 reissue pressed on 180 gram vinyl. Lacquers cut from the original master tapes by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio. How can you go wrong? Super excited to give that a spin. Keeping with the jazz, we got one of the household names coming right up, and that's Sonny Rollins. On the Impulse, right? On the Impulse label. So really creative title there, I suppose. This was recorded in a trio setting. It highlights, Rollins on the saxophone with minimal accompaniment, for a raw kind of direct sound. So it's a little bit different than this full-on jazz ensemble that we tend to be used to. This is part of the Acoustic Sound series. It's from 2021, released on 180 gram vinyl. It is stereo, in case you're wondering. And another stereo jazz record we picked up here is Jackie McLean, Tippin on the Scales. Recorded, I think, originally in 1960, but it wasn't released for like 10 years later. This kind of features Jackie's sort of hard bop style, kind of transitioning from that avant-garde style that he was a little bit known for, or I guess was known for. And this is very energetic. This is cutting-edge saxophone performances. It's on Blue Note Tone Poet series. It's released in 2022. It's pressed on 180 gram vinyl. You got the whole story just like you normally would with traditional jazz records here. I'm excited to give this one a spin. The last record, I saved this for the last for a reason, because honestly, I think that this particular label in this series and this membership, because this is a membership record that I'm going to show you, and no, it's not VMP or Interscope or any of the ones that you're probably thinking. I think these folks, you know, they don't get really bragged about in the vinyl community. Nobody talks about them. None of the Discard channels talk about them. I don't really hear about them on Reddit or anything. They're just kind of nobody cares. But I think you should, because they do a great job. They do a great job with the pressing, the artwork, the extras, the gatefolds. They always come with these really cool, you know, add-ons and extras, and they're all compilation albums. They're like mixtapes, and that's Vinyl Moon. And this is volume 104. Entwined in Time is the name of this album, and I haven't listened to it yet, but I mean, I would say every album I've ever got from Vinyl Moon has just sounded good. You know, they're not an audiophile shop, but their pressings just sound awesome. Their vinyl is quiet. It's got great dynamics. I think the reason they don't have as much folks listening and buying their records, or enough noise, I should say, in the community, is because a lot of the bands featured on this record are ones that you just never heard of before. These are all, you know, locally known, if you will, bands, right? They might have some local fame in their town or area where they're from, but they're not mainstream radio. And when you get a Vinyl Moon record, they give you this huge fold out here, tells you all about the artists and how to follow them and what countries they're coming from. So you got folks, this guy's from Sweden, West London. Who else we got here real quick? We got Florida, Oregon, Germany, Atlanta. So you just got a mix, a hodgepodge here, right? And this continues to go on, right, inside as well. And then, of course, there's tends to be artwork or add-ons and extras or pop-outs or sometimes really unique gatefolds. So I'm not trying to oversell here. I just think that, you know, when somebody's doing a good job and they're releasing great albums that sound good and it's going to turn you on to perhaps new music, why not give it a shot? Why are we not talking about more things like this? It's probably because of subscription service. It's probably because many people don't take a chance on it. It's probably because people don't buy into whole mixtape things. But I got to tell you, I've discovered new artists that now I'm streaming that I would have never known about unless I got this album. So I don't know. It's not a promotion for them per se. I don't get paid to promote them. Maybe if there's a referral link, I'll throw it in the comments if you're interested in checking it out. But I'll only include it if you get a benefit from it. This particular one is the VIP edition, so you have to be a member for a year to get the VIP edition. And all that really does is come with a colored, unique vinyl. This is a gold and white vinyl. But really cool records from Vinyl Moon. I think I want to start showing them more on the channel. So that's what we got, folks. That's what's new to my collection. I'd love for you to spend a moment and comment below what's new to your collection. And until next time, I hope that your records don't skip and your coffee is always warm.